I pull in the wide variety. It can just be whomever wants to show up and do the talking each time we join. But yeah, before we jump in, you pull in the wide variety. Is there anything in particular that you are hoping to get out of today? Anything in particular you're wanting to know or hoping to get?
That's loaded.
Bring
Yeah,
it.
everything.
Okay,
um,
just everything.
yeah, financial and romance. Romance.
Excellent. Mm-mm.
And if
Oh
any
yeah,
guides come through, just I've always wanted to hear from my guides. I don't know that I
oh,
have.
excellent.
So whatever works, whatever happens, I'm open.
Well, I will tell you, right? Like oftentimes what'll end up happening is angels will come in. They sometimes have an order of operations where sometimes it'll be angels first and then guides come after. So I'm used to those angels showing up right away. And it was interesting that you said that because I felt a guide presence right from the beginning. So even before you said that, it was like, oh, interesting. It looks like we might be going right to guide. They have a bit of a weightier presence, right? Like the angels have a lot of lightness and a lot of sparkle, sort of like champagne energy, and then the guides tend to have just a more weighty feel to them. So I was immediately feeling that weighty energy around you. So yeah, let's check in and see. So I think you're spot on that they were already showing up, ready to jump in, and every so often they'll reverse the order. So you never know if an angel will come afterward. But those guides was feeling them right from the get go.
Okay.
And along those lines, yep, there is a guide coming in with this really deep, powerful. I want to say like just that rich, right? Like that substantial, rich, rich chocolate, rich wine, just sort of that rich energy to it to bring in some flavors to the experience.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. And there was enough richness and power. I initially thought it might be showing up masculine, but nope, it's female, it's feminine, but she's showing me the depth of her power and her, sort of that richness. Almost like that, back in the old days when they would describe a woman as being handsome,
Yeah.
because they've got that strength of character and that richness versus, yeah, like she's got that kind of energy to her. Like I'm getting like images of like leather and like cabernet colors and that sort of thing. So she's got this richness to her, and she's
Okay.
laughing as I'm saying all this. She's like, "Sparks, take that, Shannon." And she's coming in, and I will sometimes get head guides, like that head main guide who stays with us through our whole lifetime. But the way that they presented themselves to me, that head guide is responsible for our education and our learning and our development through the entirety of our existence. And then we have sort of sub guides as well, guides that
Okay.
work on with us on certain aspects of our personality, certain areas of learning that we're really digging into, aspects of ourself that are unique in the world and really important to what we're up to in each lifetime. And she's full on coming in, with this big, powerful energy and this like handsome richness. Confirming that she is your head guide that's showing up. Yeah, she's here, and she's giving me this image, of her galloping in on a horse, and she's giving me this image of her galloping in on this brown horse, and she's got this long leather coat on, and quite the drama and the substance to
Wow.
her powerfulness. Yeah. I don't know where this imagery is coming from. Like, they bring it up to light, but I don't. Did you ever see the movie Legends of the Fall, the one with like Brad Pitt back in the
Yes.
day? It's
Yes.
like if she was out with the brothers, like she'd be riding in with the leather coat, and she'd be out there with them, beautiful and glorious, but also like out there rounding up and riding into the beautiful hillside with Brad Pitt, like keeping up with him.
Love that.
That kind of power and substance to her. And as I'm saying that, she's like, okay, and I see her climbing off her horse. the first thing that she's doing is just acknowledging you. She's showing up right from the beginning to acknowledge and confirm. She's telling me what a lifelong learner you are, and your commitment to continually learning, to continually growing and developing. She was just like, Shannon, she is so fearless around looking at the hard thing, sort of staring right on into it, and sort of with that, like, bring it energy, right? Like, I'm
Yes.
here to understand, I'm here to learn, I'm here to grow. And there's this fierceness that she's demonstrating and reflecting back around your fierceness and your fearlessness.
Nice.
Yeah, and she's acknowledging, she's like, and that fierceness and fearlessness has been tested in this lifetime. Yeah,
Yes.
sorry, that's a good knowing laugh. Yeah, so she's saying, like, it has been tested, and sometimes, there's been those moments of doubt of, like, oh my gosh, like, what is going on here, right? Like, what is going on? What the heck do I have? Like, she's saying, like, do I have a target on my back? Like, what's going on here? She's like, but Shannon, she doesn't stay there for long, right? She has her moment. She has her, like, she gives herself that moment, and then boom, she's right back at it, and she's plowing ahead. So she's showing up to declare and confirm her admiration.
Aw.
And yeah, her admiration and this deep sense of pride around you. And I'll stop for a moment. Yeah, can you take this? Can you take this?
Yes.
How is this landing?
Yes. Yes. I get everything you're saying. I get it.
Awesome. Yeah. And so with all of that, she's confirming, right? She's confirming that you are right on track. She's confirming how connected you are, and she's confirming that the messages that you're receiving, the way that you're interpreting them, right? She's just showing me, like, nope, she's right on track. That
Okay.
yeah, it can be sometimes hard to interpret stuff, to, when we're so connected, it's sometimes easier to, like, get an understanding and have visibility on other people, and a little bit more difficult on ourselves. And she's just saying, like, nope, right down the line, that you do a really great job of discerning. And she's like, not only discerning, but, like, holding yourself accountable. And so for you
Yes.
to trust yourself, continue what you've been doing, continue, she's showing me that, that connection that you have, where you're getting all the messages, you're hearing the information, and she's confirming that the messages and the information and the way that you're interpreting it and the way that you're choosing to act on it is correct, right? That you can trust yourself and trust your own judgment in terms of your own connection to spirit.
Great.
Yeah. And let me just see, because it feels like there's a substantial, there's a something substantial around here that I'm waiting for it to. They come through sometimes like energy bubbles or thought bubbles, and it's like it takes a moment for it just to break apart a little bit, so I can digest it and figure out what's coming in with this, because there's something substantial with this. Let's see. Because she's saying that there is a particular person in your life that's been tricky. She's saying that there's a person who's been tricky in terms of how to deal with them, and just navigating how to deal with them, and what the proper course of action with them is. This person feels male, and saying not family member, just member of the community, male, that's been a bit trickier to navigate. And she's confirming that you are doing a phenomenal job navigating that tricky interaction with him. I just hear her saying, he's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Okay.
Take that. Can you take?
I can take that.
Yeah,
I can take that.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's, with her sassy, cowgirl kind of self, right? She's like, he's a pain in the ass, Shannon. She is doing a great job. And yeah, she's just confirming, like, your job is not to let him push you around, right? Like, not to push you around. Yep.
Bam. Bam. That's
Yep.
it. Just
Yep.
blocked them.
And yep.
I was trying to handle everything with integrity and love, and then I was like, can't do it. Time to
Yep.
back up and bye
Yep.
bye. Oh, that's so funny.
Spot on. Yep. Spot on. That your
Spot.
job was not. Yeah.
Spot on.
Exactly.
Jennifer, that's kind of what I
you're-
said to you the other night. I was like, bam, yeah. So thank you. Thank you for that.
And I'm like, the next one will be better. And she thought that was like the next time you see the same person. And you're like, no.
He was overpowering me, like physically.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said no, 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 and no. He said, oh, I heard you say no, but I just think you meant yes. And I'm like, there it is.
Oh.
There it is. And it's just gotten worse from there. And I was like, oh, thank you. But I asked Spirit to show me him, to make him show himself to me. And it was just in the nick of time. It was a point of no return for me that I almost went into. So it was all great. So, yeah.
I love the validation, right? Like, not only is she coming and saying, like, your judgment is correct, your interpretation and your connection is correct, and then
Literally, don't push me around. And that's
Yes.
what he was trying
Yes. I was wondering, is it this guy? And then it was like, yes. It was like, yeah, no, pushing me around. Like, no, just like an octopus. And I'm like, no. So
So
anyway.
he has very poor energy management. He doesn't know how to hold it back, which is what, usually men who can kind of hold back their energy and kind of sit into it, then the women kind of like gravitate towards them. So he could learn a thing or two. We don't like it when guys are like all over us, I'm like, ew.
Yeah, no. And then not recognizing, just trying to.
No awareness.
None. Zero. Not my guy.
I know. I can just feel
Not my
you going,
people.
oh.
I was. Oh. I was like, damn it. But yeah, I saw it.
oh, I love this, right? Because she's just like, yep, right?
That's so cool.
Especially because with the imagery that she's giving us, right? Like this powerful woman who knows how to hold her own. And it's like the whole shebang, right? Like powerful, smart, can hold her own, beautiful, and so she's acknowledging, right? Like
the guide. You're talking about the guide.
Yeah.
Yes.
The way she's showing
Love
up,
that.
right?
Yeah.
But as a reflection of you, right? Like she's showing up as a reflection, that she's giving us this imagery of who she is as a way, like, oh, I get this image of her, and she's showing up in this way to acknowledge, right? Like your beauty, your strength,
okay.
your fear, your fierceness.
Thank
you. As this mirror and reflection of who you are in the world. So in the same way that you wouldn't want to see someone like her riding around out in I think that was Montana where it was filmed, right? Like riding around out in Montana and, beautiful and strong and handsome and, fierce and like you wouldn't want to see her end up if she was in the movie with just any guy, that she would need someone to match her.
Yep.
Same thing with you.
Yes.
Right? Like
yes.
you need to be matched in all of those ways. Someone who sees you as strong, but still has that inkling to take care of you and protect you, right? Can hold you as both.
Yes.
That can actually meet you in all of those dimensions.
Absolutely.
And so, yes. And what she's telling me is that what just happened with this dude, right? Like with your octopus, was a great way for you to clarify, right? Like, no, not this.
Yes.
This is not the way I want to be handled. This is not the way I want to be treated. There is no other option than the way I deserve to be treated. And so she's encouraging you to continue to lean into that knowing of yourself and with the way that you deserve to be met, right?
Okay.
That this is all happening for you, right? Even though he was a jackass and you wouldn't have designed it that way, that this is all happening for you, and to continue to use this to align within yourself around what it is that you deserve and where you need to be met.
I felt
and so
that.
she's showing me that. Did you feel it? That just little tightening of core.
I did. I felt like it was like, it was okay because it was like, no. But it was so good, but no, that's a deal breaker. So just wasn't. So yeah, thanks. I feel all that. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I don't
right.
want
No. Don't apologize. Are you kidding? Oh, no. I love it. Like, I love when, when it gets to be a dialogue and it gets to be a discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. And so she's saying with that, right? With that clarity and with that, like, no, I deserve what I deserve. I know what I know, right? Like,
Yes.
I deserve to be met and to be seen and respected, but, all of those things. And she says to me with that, your cowboy is coming, right? So she's saying your cowboy is coming. So let's see what she can.
That's awesome.
It's just because do you remember the old ads of like the Marlboro Man? Now he doesn't have a cigarette. He does not smoke. But she's giving me this image of that classic ad of the Marlboro Man, right?
Manly man.
Rugged, sexy, confident, but not overpowering.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Mm-hmm. She's telling me, like, Shannon, he's going to be able to get shit done, right? Like, he's going to be able to get shit done, where he's not going to be that kind of person that needs someone else to tell him what to do, or, like, he's going to be the kind of guy that sees the trash needs to be taken out, and he just takes out the trash, right? He's going to see that, like, the lawn needs to be mowed or the bushes need to be trimmed, and he's just going to take care of it. Along those lines, she's telling me he's giving me the image of him being a bit more of the strong silent type. That he's going to be a bit more of the strong silent type, and that he's showing me like him just enjoying being in your presence. Like she's giving me the sense of you like telling him about your day, or telling him about a book you read or an experience that you had, and him just delighting, like literally just delighting, drinking his cup of coffee, having his glass of water, whatever it is, but just delighting. Like you sort of being like the butterfly and the flower around him, and him just delighting and you doing what you're doing and sharing with him. And and that even though he might not be the one that's doing the chattering, right, but just being thrilled to hear about your day and to ask you a question here or there.
That's my type. That's my type.
Yep. Strong, silent, delighting, but that confidence that, it's funny, I hear him, like I see him actually full on putting on the frilly apron, right? Like, when he likes to barbecue, and him like grabbing your apron and being confident enough to put on the apron to go out and barbecue in the back, or like be sous chef or whatnot.
You are describing my late husband, the love of my life, to a T. And I was told in a reading once, I'm looking for that guy for you. And it was so sweet because he said, at our age, they're farther and further between. And it's true. It's just, I'm getting up there in age. And I believed him that he's been looking for me. And it's like, it's been getting fine tuned each time I meet somebody. But it's just not, it's like.
He's saying, rest assured, right? Like, rest assured, he is coming. He's on his way. I'm asking, of course, they tend to like resist giving timelines. But she's saying you're exactly right, right? Like, it won't be long now. It's closer and closer. I'm seeing that, I'm seeing silver-haired gentlemen. I'm seeing, full head of hair. they're showing me his jeans that he wears jeans.
Great.
They're like, yeah, like they're sort of laughing, right? Like jeans and a t-shirt. If you go out, he likes jeans and a nice shirt, but like
Perfect.
she do a little bit of work if she wants him to get dressed up, like, but really dressed up, that he's going to be more inclined to like get the nice shirt and the jeans versus the t-shirt and the jeans, but like most comfortable in jeans and a t-shirt.
Perfect.
And I hear him calling you honey, right? Like I hear like him having a pet name for you, and his name for you is yeah, I hear him calling you honey. And yeah, just
Thank
like
you.
you're sort of like smiling right there. Yeah, that not anyone can call you a pet name, but like coming from him, that it's really, really sweet.
That's true. Don't call me pet names, but unless you're that guy. That,
Yep.
Yeah, there's only been one.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, I will say the other thing that she's saying is absolutely he's going to be financially stable. She's saying actually financially well off. Yeah, she's saying financially well off. And like he legitimately is that guy. So for you to know, she doesn't want you really worrying about money or finances, right?
Okay.
Like in the sense that like, yep, you got to make a living, you got to do what you do. But I'm actually, because, I was like, well, what if we were talking about finances and whatnot? And she's like, nope. She's like, you can, but it's actually not something that you really have to worry about, or
Okay.
she wants you to worry about. And my guess is this probably lines up with other messages that you've gotten.
Totally.
But that part of is that not only is he going to be financially secure, he's also just going to be generous. That he's not that kind of guy who's going to be like mine and yours. That's actually that strong, silent sense of pride and his ability to take care of you. And so, I was trying to look just to see, right? Like, oh, is there anything she needs to do financially before she meets him or anything? And I'm just getting like, no, that like that's just not who he is. Like that's just he's one of those people that he's proud of what he's accomplished and what he's been able, but he's going to be the kind of guy that's going to be like, I was just lucky, right? Like I've made a good living, I've made a good income. I was lucky, right? Like he's just going to be one of those humble guys, and because of that, where it's not a part of his ego, he's just going to be happy to share and take care of you. Especially, he's going to have the capacity to see your pure heart, and yeah, like be able to see the generosity that you have with your love and how you treat all the people around you. Like she's giving me this quick image of him looking at you and just seeing you. He's going to look at you and see you just spreading the love all around with the people that you interact and who you are in the world. And he's just be like, why would I not want to support more of that in the world? Like, I'm just, I don't do anything. I just take out the trash. But look at her. Look at all the good she's doing in the world. Why wouldn't I want to, like, support that and help her be the best that she can be and help her go out and do what she does so well in the world? Yeah,
so
wow.
beautiful.
I like him a lot. You're going to have to.
This is my late husband to a T. That's what is so bizarre, but it's like I just kept thinking he raised the bar so high, and that's beautiful what you're telling me.
Nope, and
He's
she's
out
saying
there.
You did it once, you can do it again, right? Like that's exactly right, right? Like you did it once, you'll do it again. It's not going to. Yeah, she's just like not going to be a problem, not going to be an issue.
Thank you.
And what she's showing me is him just sort of circling around you, right? Like that he's in proximity. He's, yep, she's saying introduced by friends. But that introduced by friends, but that, dating and dating is still good, right? Like not to sit around and wait, but sort of just keeping that energy going and meeting people and all of that, but introduced by friends. Yeah. And she's just telling me it's going to be easy, right? Like in the same, you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, it's you, right? Like it's going to be easy. And I'm hearing her say within the next year. And so, yeah, it's kind of shown up really powerful within the next year. With all that, I'm still checking in around, your other. No, she's just sort of saying, with all of this, and again, she just wants you to be able to hold this all loosely, right? Like that confidence of knowing what you want, holding it loosely, and then as you're holding it loosely, what she's showing me is you holding it loosely and switching a bit more focus on finances and financial opportunity, but the same thing, holding it loosely, right?
Yes.
By putting a little bit more attention on that, holding the romance lightly, and literally exactly, right? Like, oh, you're not meeting standards, next,
Yep.
thank you, next. Oh, and
Just
enjoying
keep living.
dating and just keeping the energy moving.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That it'll be good for your confidence, good for the part of you that enjoys being social and meeting people, and then trying to see what she has to say around more around finances. Like not to really worry about it.
There's nothing terrible going on. I'm
Yeah, exactly.
Everything you're saying makes sense to me. That's I need a partner, financially, but yeah, everything you're saying makes sense, and I've been told that before too. So it's spot on more than once. So you're good. You're on it.
So, yeah, you're exactly right. Like I was sort of waiting if there was more on finances or something specific, but that's just you're right. It's not feeling like there just didn't feel like there was anything substantial or anything. Yeah, sometimes I can see sort of like continuing to do what you do, but what I see is you just putting loving attention to it. And because you are so powerful, like that idea of like, oh yeah, if you want to, and